He started to sell water ice, but they didn't last long. And he bought electric motor.
Who, Grandpa or the
No,
guy?
the guy, Peter Crossan. My old man wouldn't go for that kind of. Yeah, he believed in the old-fashioned way. And they would put the motor on it, and the guy would let the motor go around. But the reason my father didn't want that, when you wanted to take it apart to scrape the ice cream or the little water ice so it doesn't get chunky, you couldn't do it. They would run it until it completely froze.
And
No,
it
so
would
then
it
wouldn't be
wouldn't-
smooth.
Too
It
solid.
wouldn't be smooth, it would be hard, and you had to get in there and dig it.
'Cause
So-
when I made it, I had to keep stopping and scraping the
That's it.
sides and blending
Then the
in.
blender, that's
Yeah.
it.
So it stayed a real
And
smooth consistency.
so no one would go over there to buy his ice cream because his water ice because it was chunky, and then he must have skimped on lemons. Now, when Three Finger Jack told you that my old man watered it down,
Oh,
if
he
you
didn't-
watered it down, it wouldn't be a lemonade.
Yeah, he didn't tell me that.
Well,
And I don't know why he should talk anyhow, because the way Jack taught me how to make it, it wasn't using lemons. It was using the syrup and water.
yeah, it was using
artificial
syrups. No,
syrups
that's
and water.
it. No, my old man used the pure
You used to use
lemon.
the lemons and you just
Yeah.
put the pieces in, right?
No,
You didn't put the,
no, he made it smooth. See, my father did it the way the people wanted it, and that's how they wanted it. The younger crowd,
They started putting the lemon pieces.
they
Right.
wanted it, but was mostly my father's crowd that used to come here, and they wanted just smooth,
No, they didn't
Lemonade.
want any lemon rind.
and they didn't want no thick stuff. They wanted, like Rosati's made the sherbet, you needed a spoon. These people just wanted to shake the cup and drink it, shake the cup and
Do you
drink it.
remember the size of the cup that he sold? The
Well, there
smallest?
was a 2-cent cup, 3-cent cup, and then the 5-cent cup.
It was about this small, wasn't it?
Well, even
The
if
little
you,
one.
yeah, if you bought the 2-cent cup, well, I would say it was 2 ounces. There's 2 ounces in
Jeez.
there. The 3-cent cup, I'd say about 3.5, 3 ounces.
And
something
how
like
big
that.
around?
It was a perforated cup. It was like
The
a-
regular cups that you see yet today.
The paper cups?
Well, yeah, you still see some
I
paper.
thought his were the little, like,
Well, they have,
creased.
yeah, it was creased paper.
That's what I remember.
Yeah, and then that came in a 5-cent cup, which was like this, maybe about 5 inches high, and the top was maybe 3 inches, and then it tapered down to about 2.5 inches, something like that. And they all tapered.
So
down.
who actually sold the water ice? Who actually sat out there and dished it out
Well,
and sold it?
We'd make it, and then either my sister Rose would sit there, or my mother, or I would sell it. And then at night, the old man would sell it, and
Didn't you shine shoes on the Sunday?
the
also?
shines.
You had the
Oh,
shoe
I
shine
used to
stand?
like that. Believe me, I used to
With
like
the
it.
water ice right next to it?
Yeah, but I didn't sell water ice when
No.
I was shining shoes. My sister or my mother would do that. Because my hands would get polished on them. I wouldn't go near it. The old
You
man-
only made lemon ice, didn't you?
That's all lemonade. That's all. That was the big thing. That
Yeah.
was the one.
Yeah, it's still a favorite today.
Yeah.
The lemon is still a favorite today.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
So who helped to make it? Everybody, different times?
Well, in the earlier years, your father and Louie were the ones that did the bulk of the work. The old man always made the lemonade. And believe me, every time he made it, it came out the same taste all the time.
Do they still sell those tins that down on Washington Street?
Oh, yeah.
Those,
You can
water ice
get them, yeah.
tins?
Yeah, you see people still selling water ice.
Sell what, Sam?
The tins,
The
to make
can-
the gallon, 10
Well, you know,
gallons.
you,
Do they
you
sell
can
the
make water
barrels, too?
ice in the ice cream makers
Yeah, of
that
course.
they have now.
But it's not the same.
It's not the same.
Well,
See,
they
do
got the
still-
blade
Do they sell the
inside.
barrels too?
Yeah,
That's
you can
constantly
get all that
scraping it
downtown.
as it's
You get out
being
South
made. It
Philly, you
comes
can
out
get all
pretty
that
good.
stuff, yeah. And it all depends what size you want. You want a 20-quart size, 40-quart size, 10-quart
I
size?
told my kids last year, I said, we'll make water ice next summer. You know, we'll give it the whole thing, the barrel and everything else.
Yeah,
That's
Yeah, for-
the charm of the
Well,
whole
really,
thing.
really, if you get, say, like a 5-quart size, you can get a 5-gallon bucket, an old paint bucket or something, these plastic buckets,
uh-huh.
and you get say, a 5-quart size of can, and you put ice in the bucket, put the can in there, put your lemonade in there, and you can turn it, even if you have to just, like I said, with a stick. But you gotta make sure you don't let that salt water get in the lemonade.
Yeah.
So you put your ice in, put the rock salt on it, put a piece of burlap on top,
See,
cover
I would
it.
always put a block of ice on the bottom.
Yes, that's how you're supposed to
I
do
put
it.
enough ice on the bottom, the block was big enough so that the top of the can
Protrudes.
stuck up above the
That's
barrel.
right.
Right.
Just enough so it couldn't get anything in it.
That's it.
And then just chop layers.
Yeah. I'm sure they
ice
still have
salt, ice
everything.
salt.
And if they don't have everything, like I said, you can get like a 5-quart can, a 5-gallon old empty paint bucket, and you put a chunk of ice on the
It
bottom.
wouldn't have the same selling appeal. When you had that,
Oh, but you could still make it to taste
well, I'm not
like
talking about making, I'm
lemonade.
talking about the, you know,
Oh, the remembrance,
and everything
yeah,
else.
the remembrance of that stuff. I know what you mean.
when I
You know,
started to sell
the
that,
kids
my
would
buddy
do
and I,
that.
Chet Walker, he's passed away since then. We went where the bottom of Sampson Hill is, and we took the barrel out there and everything else. I guess I'd worked for Three Finger Jack then, and I brought it up, and we were gonna sell it in Lacey Park. So Chet and I go out there this one day, we put it out there, right there on York Road. We must have been out there 6 hours. I think we got one person that stopped.
Not good.
So whatever we did wrong, I don't know what it was, but we didn't
Well,
stay
what,
there.
what did you advertise?
I don't even remember.
No, it's not
It
the
didn't-
kind, you can't sit on a
On a
suburban, fast
Nobody
moving
knew what it
street.
was. Nobody knew what it
You
was.
can't sit on a fast
They rode
moving
right
street.
past you.
You gotta take
It
it
was
to
a
where
bad
people
location.
are.
Well, if you had the right sign up there,
Well, no, we took it around in the truck after that, and then we started buying it from Rosati and selling Rosati.
yeah, you were selling sherbet,
No, the water ice.
the regular water ice. All right.
But you have to take it to the people. I tried the same thing in Warminster on York and Street and Roads. And it
Yeah,
was a
people
busy
won't
corner,
stop on the
but
corner.
there's no other reason for them to stop. And it's like the guys that today sell pretzels down in the subway or the expressway entrance in
Yeah.
all of Philadelphia. If they don't bring it right up to your car
I'm not gonna
and try to
say.
shove it in your window, they're just gonna be,
Well, the reason why a lot of people don't want to buy them pretzels.
Because they buy them early in the morning by 11
Well, not
o'clock,
only
they're
that,
starting to
even
get
while
hard.
they're fresh, they're laying out there, and the fumes of the cars getting on them pretzels. But you don't realize you're eating that. Then the dust. That's a. See, there is a law against it. They got to be kept in a glass cage. Remember years ago, guys used to have push carts, and they go to the ice plant and get a 100-pound piece of ice.
Right.
Then they had a scraper
Snowball.
down all of the side of the carts. They had all different flavors, grape, orange,
Yeah.
whatever, you know. So you go and he scrape that ice, put it in a cup, and ask you what kind of flavor, grape, orange, whatever, and you pour it in there. That's still a
That's the
favorite.
snowball. They still do
That's
that.
still
I
a
did
favorite.
that for
to-
1 week and I said, this is bad business.
Why?
You catch people lunchtime, okay? Maybe you have the potential to sell 10 people. But when you're 9 years old, 10 years old, trying to scrape enough ice
Oh, I get
fast
what you
enough
mean,
to,
yeah.
to serve one customer, by the time you get done 2 customers, lunch is over.
And everybody says,
Well,
yeah,
see-
they ain't got
Yeah, well,
shit.
they have good scrapers though. The guys that had the
Yeah,
good scrapers,
they got good
worked
scrapers
Yeah, they
now.
were good.
and they were filled.
Yeah. The
I used
guy,
to sell at railway, when I worked for Railway Express, I used to take 2 5-gallon containers. I either take cherry and lemon, or I've always had lemon, but then it might have a different flavor. And I used to put it on my truck. I was a delivery man for Railway Express.
Yeah.
And I used to take it to Johnsville Navy Base. And the guys went crazy over it. I had a little box, and it was all silver foil paper, had it padded. I put them in there, and I put the, what do you call it, dry ice to keep it
oh
cold.
boy, that freezes solid though.
Well, no, that was just to keep it cold, because it was already mixed. It was,
Yeah.
it was Rosati stuff. I used to make it at one time, but then I started buying Rosatis, because
Yeah.
Bucky said, hey, why don't you take it that way? And that sold like crazy.
See, and then you had his name that you were working with, so people knew right
Well,
away
they didn't
what
know,
it
they
was,
didn't know
too.
the name, it was inside. I didn't have
Oh,
Rosatis. I would
okay.
I'd buy the 5-gallon container and just put it inside.
Yeah.
It was just, because I was a delivery man, they expect me there every day, 2, 3 o'clock. Hey, you got any water ice today? Yeah, sure.
It's all right.
So what other kind of work did you guys have to do? Because I know you had to contribute to the family, that was tradition.
We did anything we could earn a buck on, anything, you name. We even went to the farms to pick berries. And I remember when I went to the farm, I went with my brother Louie and Jerry. We lasted 3 days and we came back. I'm working on a farm, and what could I have been, 8, 9 years old, something like that. So, So I was about 8 or 9 years old, and this farm were picking berries. The guy says, you can't drink water until you pick I don't know if they were a pint or a quart, I don't remember. But when you're a kid, you know, even a pint container looks big, because you gotta pick the berries
Yeah.
without injuring them, put them in there, and that hot sun beaming down on you, you know? Then when you filled the thing and you took it up to the guy and he'd give you a ticket, and you put the ticket in your pocket, and that's when you get a drink of water. But once he gives you an empty basket, whether it's a pint or a quart, you can't go back to get a drink of water. So he did that with Louis, Jerry, and I, and Louis says, "Oh, who has to put up with this stuff?" So we thumbed our way home from Hamilton, New Jersey. Here, my mother and I were getting ready to come down. They thought there was money to be made. The three of us, we couldn't even make $1 a day.
Oh, jeez.
Plus the fact you couldn't go up for a drink of water until you fill that quart with berries.
Whose farm was that in Hamilton?
Any farm down there.
Oh,
See, there was seasons. There was like blueberry season, there was blackberry season, raspberry, whatever you want to
But
call
it
it.
was the same as it is today, migrant workers.
That's it,
It's
same
not
Right.
thing.
like any money.
That's right.
Right.
You really had to, but the sun was hot. And so I had to get out there at the same time. I guess that's what made me
how'd you
hate
get to Hamilton?
I think the farmers come up with their car or
Oh,
truck.
yeah.
That's, I think, no, wait a minute. Oh, yeah, that's right. We got on the L, went to Delaware Avenue, got on a ferry, cost a nickel to cross Delaware River, and that's where the farmer met us. And we got on his truck, and all might be 20 or 30 of us on the truck, and that's how we got down to the farm. But coming back, we thumbed our way back. The guy gave us the money, but we figured if we spend the money to get home, we're only gonna catch hell. We're gonna catch hell as it is if we quit.
Yeah.
So what, $2 or $3 we had, Louis held on to it, and we thumbed our way up. It's the first and only time I ever thumbed. The farmer wouldn't even take us because he says, "You quit. I'm only obligated to take you back when you stay your
You're
term."
working. Now, Squirty worked, he had a job at the CCC camp.
Well, when he
When was
became
that?
when he became 16, 17, something like that, he went in 3 Cs, and he
Mhm.
went out to Punxsutawney. Now, he was in that one place for about 3 years, I
Yeah.
guess, and that's where he learned to weld.
You know, that's what he said, that he was up around
You
here
know,
for a
so,
while.
Yeah,
You
Punxsutawney.
mean he lived there and all 3
Yeah,
years?
it was
steady?
like an
Yeah.
army camp.
And nobody had work. Was that
No.
what it is?
He got
They put these
$30
young
a
kids
month.
in the CCC camps.
Yeah, you got $30 a month.
Plus room and board.
Plus, yeah, they fed you and everything. It was like an army, the same
Yeah.
thing. They gave you army clothes, they gave you all the clothes, the shoes, everything you need, plus $30 a month. And I think 25 of that you had to send home, or they sent it home, and you just got the balance.
Mhm.
So
They cut fire breaks and planted
they
trees
built roads
and
and
everything.
different
didn't
things
they?
all
Yeah.
through the mountains here. They built a lot of roads, and
And Nicky went off in the army.
Nicky left. He was 15 years old. You know, I was up there Columbus Day weekend, and we're talking about different things like now. And I wanted to ask him, how did he get in the Army under the name of Joseph Daly?
Joseph Daly?
Yes. He was 15 years old when he left. You can never get in the service on your own until you're 21. You need your parents' consent when you're 18. He's 15 and got in the service under the name of Joseph Daly. So every time you had to communicate with him, write letters, you had to put on there Private Joseph Daly.
Now, who was Joseph Daly?
Must have been
Did he
somebody.
know?
Well, that's what I wanted to find out when I was up there. I meant
Must
to
have been
ask him.
somebody's ID that he used.
So whoever's name it was, they had to go there to sign for it. Now, I do remember a fellow, my neighbor, his last name was Daly, and they used to call him Apple, nickname. Now, that's the only guy I figured went down and signed for him and get him in. So I meant to ask him, so next time I see him, I'm gonna ask
Was
him.
he pretty tall at 15? Big?
Well, what was it, about 5'8", 5'9", something like
I
that.
don't think Nicky, how tall is Nicky now?
Well, he shrunk.
But I
He
mean,
was 6 feet. He's a bit.
No, I don't think.
No.
No, he was. I
He always
thought
looked tall.
he looked tall because he was thin. But I don't think Nick was much more than 5'9" at the most.
He
yeah, I
wasn't tall
think
in
they
the
were all
school.
pretty much the same. Oh,
Well,
Scotty was
him
the
and
only
Scotty,
tall one, I
him and
think.
Scotty were the two tallest in the
Scotty
town.
was about 5'11".
5'11", I
6
thought he
foot.
was.
Six.
Was he that tall?
Yeah, I think he was
Tall
there.
and Buggy.
If he
Buggy's
wasn't,
5'10" and a half.
yeah, if he wasn't 6 foot, he was just short of it.
I didn't think he was. I always thought he was like 5'9", 5'10". I don't.
And Shady was tall, wasn't he?
He was the
Tall,
same
thin.
way. He could have been 5'9", 5'10", and he was thin. And yeah, I remember because when I used to get in a scrap with him, I would say, "Huh, "You only beat me because you're taller than me." That's all I used to say to him.
How did he die?
He had a leaky valve in his heart, and they couldn't do anything with it in them days, which I think started from a rheumatic heart.
So after Nicky left, he really never moved back home. Is that right?
He left 3 years later and come back. He's 18 years old now, still a kid. So he got a job and worked about 6 to 8 months, something like that. But actually he was home only 10 months. Then he went down and joined the Coast Guards under the same name, Joseph Daly. So they sent him to New London, Connecticut. That's where his base was, and that's how he met his wife there. So he was in the service there, I don't know if it was 11 years or 16 years, something like that. He was in the service for a while. And then when he came out, well, he learned oil burner servicing and all that because he learned it in the Navy, Coast Guards. And he got into that field. And then he got into politics, which was a good thing for him, because,
I didn't know
oh yeah, he was in politics.
What was he in politics?
Up in there, he was a selectman, but he was a
that. Is
noisy
that like
guy.
a councilman?
Yeah, like councilman, same thing. But he was in the group that went to the Capitol to, try to pass different laws and all that. Well, he was like my father. When the gander got up and he didn't care where he was, he'd get up and say his piece. And at one part there, the governor says, "Who is that guy?" And the guy says, "It's a selectman." "Oh." He says, "How come he's having so much privilege to talk, He didn't know the Negro, I guess, the governor. But then they found him out. So. But he would have stayed in politics, but my sister-in-law, Mary, says the only reason why he dropped out because he never had enough money to entertain people. And that's how you get votes. But I think it was something else why he dropped out. Because he was well liked up there. And every time they'd have a vote, you only stay in 2 years, but every time they had a vote, he always won with a big margin, you see. He was well liked. But,
What do you think it was?
I don't know. I didn't want to get involved there. Mary was just telling me the last time I was just there. She said, and she's showing me pictures of who he's with. Pictures, newspaper pictures. There's pictures with him with the governor, high officials and all that. He was in the right
Well,
crowd.
When did he stop politics? About when? Are we talking the 60s or?
In around that time.
So was he?
Because when I was in the Navy, I was stationed there. I had to go there to finish out my time. And I used to go to his house a lot. So Mary, my sister-in-law, she had a lady friend that was a Democrat. As red-hot Republican as my brother was, this woman friend of my sister-in-law was a red-hot Democrat. And she used to be at the house all the time. So you could see sparks between Nick and this woman, And I used to get a kick out of it. So one day we're up there, and this woman's car was rusted and all that stuff. And she says, geez, I like to paint it. So Mary says, I don't know whose idea it was. Go down and buy quart of paint, whatever, then we'll paint the car. So it's a beautiful sunny day. Who's painting the car? Our brother Nick and I, with a brush. And we did a good job, you know. So Nick, as we're painting, Nick says, I don't know what the hell I'm painting this car, but this is a Democratic car. He says, I'm a Republican. The guys get the biggest kick out of it.
So then he wouldn't have been for Kennedy when Kennedy ran for
Oh,
president.
no. He wasn't even for Clinton. He says, I don't know what this goofball's going to do. That's what he was telling me. So, that's
So he's a diehard Republican.
Well, you would have heard one time him and Louis go at it. My brother Louis was against unions. So Nick says, how can you stand there and say you're against unions? Now Louis was either Republican or Democrat. He didn't give a damn who it was. But he just didn't like unions. He never liked anybody to tell him what to do. And that's how he considered the union.
Sounds like you.
Now that's the only thing my brother favored, because Republicans don't go for unions, they're against unions. But he favored unions because they do help the people, but they had a good cause. But then like what they did in the last 10, 15 years,
Yeah, now they've
unions are
gone
50% of the cause of what the
Yeah.
economy is today. They're 50% of the cause of it.
So the girls in the family, they cleaned house, did ironing,
Yeah,
cooking.
they did
Well,
all that.
Minnie left young.
Minnie
didn't
left,
she?
I was 5 years old. I could faintly remember when she left, her and her husband got on a taxi cab, and that was the end that I saw of her, and I didn't see her no more till
And she was
19
how old then? She was quite young, wasn't she?
Well, she was born, I think, in 1905. So at 5 years old, I would have been, say, 1922, 23. So, if, subtract 5 from, she must have been 18 years old. She was young when she got married, yeah.
No, I thought she was younger than that. The way.
Well, wasn't young for those days, was it? 18?
I don't know. I was 5 years old, so I couldn't say.
I don't think 18 was young in those days.
All I know
Now,
was
was hers a marriage, or was
No.
hers her
No.
own?
it was
No.
not a matched marriage because there was a fella, his name was Rocky, the nicest guy you could set eyes on. And he drove a steam shovel. In them days, that was a highly paid job. Like a guy who drives a bulldozer today.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he drove the steam shovel. That was a highly paid job, let's say $2 an hour. That's how money was in the days. That was in the good times, 22. It was like $2, $3 an hour. Bulldozer guy today gets what, about $30 an hour? So he was in love with my sister. Now how this guy Pat got in the picture, I don't know. Now Pat was supposed to have been, I don't know if he's an architect or a home designer or what, but he was an intelligent man. He had a title. He came from Rome.
Now, was he a lot older than her, or
I
was he
have
around
no
the same
idea.
age?
I really don't.
I don't know whether it was my father or somebody said he was a lot older than her or something.
Could have been. I don't know. But this fella Rocco, boy, he was a nice guy. And as I got older, this fella used to be the fireman. See, the operator steam shovel need 2 men: the operator and the fireman.
Mhm.
The guy that keeps throwing the coal in the furnace to make the steam, so he could operate the steam. And I used to watch this Rocco pull in different levers, digging holes. You know, I'd walk up to where the job was where they worked when I was like 8, 9 years old, and I used to work that steam shovel, you know. And then they'd stop for a break, he'd spy me, he says, "Come here, Charlie, come here." There was always somebody selling like soda or something, he'd buy me a soda, you know. It was a real nice fellow. But she married Pat and went off to Cleveland at first, and then she wound up in Milwaukee.
Now, was it still the tradition then, like when Nicky was in the service, he still sent money home?
Whatever he could,
Yeah.
because he was only getting $21 a
Yeah.
month. So, and you get 21, but then, you know, if you got a rate, you got a few dollars more and all that. So, if he did good in a crap game or something, then you would send some money home. That's how they did it. So once in a while, Nick would send $50, $25, whatever he could. You know, things were tight. And that's you couldn't say, well, out of $21 a month, what could you send home? You needed it for yourself. You had to go out for some pleasures, you know. And but if you got in a card game or something like that, then you did good. Now Louis was the born gambler in the house. If he was sitting down here playing cards with you, pinochle, poker, or anything, let's say pinochle. When you get down to say you got about 4 or 5 cards in your hand, then he'd make a deal with you. Because he knew what's in your hand.
And there's everything.
He'd make a deal with you. He'd say, I'll lay you 10 to 5 that the hand I got will beat your hand. Something like that. You know, I'm just making a summary. And a lot of guys would say, geez, I got a good hand. I'm sure I could beat him. So he put 10, the guy put 5, and either his hand would beat that guy, but most of the time his hand would beat that guy because he knew.
He was
But
good at counting cards, figuring how many were left and who should have them
well, see,
by what they threw.
there was about 5 or 6 guys in the neighborhood, and he was one of them. They used to go what they call float crap games,
Mm-hmm.
floating card games, and they would go. But when you go in these places, you'd have to have a minimum of so much money. Then you'd have to leave, say like $25 or $50 at the desk. If you lost, when you went out, you had $50 you went home with. You didn't go out broke. If you won, you went to the desk and you still got what you put there. That was a guarantee so you wouldn't go out broke. But Louis used to do good.
Where'd they used to play? They play down Pearl Street?
Well, that was street games, but the float
Was there a family by the name of Fermata?
Yeah.
Did you know Fermata?
Oh, yeah, and I
Well, they
told-
moved, well, Nicky, I guess was one of his sons, moved around our neighborhood, 66th Street.
Yeah, well, see that.
And he took me to 57th Street. I said, I used to live down here.
Yeah.
But they played on Pearl Street.
Yeah, well, see, now, I remember Tony Fermata. He was about a year older than me. And the guy was a marvelous dresser. And when I would go buy clothes, they'd say, Charlie, you go like that. That's no way to dress. Now, usually, a guy that dresses good and a handsome-looking guy, he wouldn't care less about anybody else. Tony Fermata always was there to help you, to dress right. And he would go with you to help you buy clothes and all. And that's what I like about Tony. So, but I did it
How
dirty.
many children did he have?
Tony was, he had 2 sisters, and I don't know how many brothers it was. 2 brothers. This Tony must be the brother of the Tony I'm talking
Now, this
about.
one's Nicky Fermata, and he had 2 sisters.
That's it.
They moved in down the street from us, about
That's
3,
it.
4 houses from
It's
us.
Tony, his 2 sisters, and his younger brother. Now, I remember, it was 4 in the family.
Rosie, was his sister, was sister named Rosie?
Well, I
or
don't
something?
remember now, but...
Big girl, one was a big girl.
Well, I don't even remember that. All I know is the